So me and the wife been talking, and we decided that it's time maybe we should sell a few things. We got some things here on the property that we don't necessarily need. We got some things that we just don't use anymore, and some things that just ain't practical, I guess, for us to have. So we've decided that it was time to put a few things up for sale. So we've made a list of a few items that we're going to want to sell and hopefully get a little bit of cash so we can be able to do some of the things we want to do here on the property, plus maybe get a few things that we can actually use. So if you guys have been following this channel for a while, when I was building my house, we actually sold our house. We lived out here in a camper, and we lived out here in a camper for like a year while we built our house. So that camper was under this carport right here, and needless to say, that was the first thing we put up for sale. So we put it up for sale on Facebook Marketplace, and it ended up selling in like almost 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks. And so that was the first item we wanted to sell. That's the only thing we've sold so far, is that camper. It's like 4 days later, we've been looking for a livestock trailer, and 4 days later, another one came up for sale, and we ended up buying it. So 4 days later, we bought this livestock trailer. So it was quite a bit less than what we sold the camper for. So we still have money left over from selling the camper. The reason we got it so cheap is it had been smashed in on the front end. You can see where it's all dented up, and they had re-welded it up here on the front. So it is a little beat up, but it needs a wheel bearing, and it needs this this front jack here needs a little bit of work. There's a few other things on it that I just need to do a little bit of work to. But needless to say, we were wanting to get a livestock trailer so that we could purchase some livestock. So this is something we plan on using. So I think that worked out pretty good. Got rid of the camper, bought a livestock trailer that we plan on using. We hadn't even lived in that camper for a year now, almost a year now. So just been sitting here. So it's definitely time to get rid of it. And so we ended up with some extra cash left over even after buying this trailer. So I think that worked out pretty good. So this here is our Case 731 tractor. It's a 1961 tractor, and it is about a 55 horsepower tractor. This tractor actually came with our property. So when we went to purchase this property, and we were going through the negotiations of price, the guy wanted to include 2 tractors with this property. He didn't want to have to bother with selling them, so he tried to sell 2 tractors with the property. I told him I'd only be interested in maybe one that with a mower on the back, so I could mow the property, because I didn't have anything big enough to mow this property. And so this tractor ended up being included with the property when we agreed on a purchase price. Since then, I've ended up buying another tractor. Since then, I ended up buying another older tractor. It's an Alice Chalmers D17 tractor. It has a front end loader on it. It came with like 3 or 4 attachments and a disc, and had everything you pretty much needed. So now I have 2 tractors. My wife wants to know why I need 2 tractors, basically, and that I should get rid of one of the tractors. And she's right. There's no reason why I need 2 tractors. Now this tractor is a diesel tractor, and it just sips the fuel, and it seems like I can mow all day long on like a 5 gallons worth of diesel. It's been reliable, and it just seems like it doesn't take much fuel to run it. But in the end, I don't need 2 tractors. So when we're going to go ahead and sell this tractor with the mower that's on the back of it, and that will free up some barn space in here so I can store more stuff inside of this barn. There's also a disc that came with this, so I had 2 discs as well. So there's like a 10 or 12 foot disc that fits this tractor. We're going to sell it as well. So we're going to sell this tractor, we're going to sell one of our discs, and hopefully that'll generate a little bit of cash and free up some barn space. Now, I am in search of a 4-wheel drive tractor. I'd love to have a 4-wheel drive tractor. These little skinny tires in the mud and stuff, they just kind of dig in, and it's easy to get stuck, and just in the mud. You really need 4-wheel drive around here. It seems like, this clay soil is either muddy or it's hard as a rock. There's nowhere in between. And so I'm looking for a four-wheel drive tractor, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to afford one. Not this year. So probably next year. So the plan is to sell this tractor this year and get a little cash from it. And then next year, hopefully, maybe I can find a used four-wheel drive tractor. And then I will sell the Alice Chalmers tractor and the implements that fit the old Alice Chalmers snap coupler hitch. It's got a special hitch on the back and some special attachments. And hopefully I can get rid of that and then just be down to a four-wheel drive tractor next year. But we'll just have to wait and see, you know, how things go. But for this year, we're going to sell this tractor. We're going to sell the mower and the disc that go with it and free up some barn space. So the next thing that I'm probably going to sell is this DR chipper shredder. I bought this thing soon after we bought this property. Used it every year to make wood chips. We'd make wood chips, a big pile of wood chips. We'd put them on our orchard. That's mostly what we used it for. I mean, it would make a big pile, and then, you know, we'd go put it on our 18 fruit trees. So it takes quite a bit of wood chips to cover 18, you know, fruit trees. And we'd use them in the chicken coop as well. Yeah, we always used them in the chicken coop. We'd fill the chicken coop, and that would be the mulch that we would put in the chicken coop. And this thing does a good job of making nice little wood chips that break down and turn into compost pretty quickly. But the problem is this does not make the quantity of wood chips that I need. So we're building a garden out by our house this year. I'd love to have a ton of wood chips for that. We have our orchard, and it would be nice to be able to use them in the chicken coop as well. But this thing is not going to be, I would spend several days chipping branches through this to try to get the amount of wood chips that I need. So in the effort to save time and effort, I think I'm just going to outsource wood chips. See if I can find a tree cutter, you know, somebody in the area who cuts down trees. See if I can get wood chips off of them. I may have to, since I live in the country, it's not convenient to come to me. I may have to end up paying them a little bit of money to bring me a load of chips. But in the end, I think it's worth probably the little that I would pay somebody to bring out wood chips. It would pay off in the end just in the time that it would save me to chip them. So in the end, I think we're going to get rid of this chipper shredder. And then from now on, we'll try to outsource our wood chips. So this here is our 2003 Ford Expedition. It is a 16-year-old vehicle. This is our spare vehicle. It has 233,000 miles. This thing's been a good vehicle. We've got the good out of this vehicle. And this winter, the four-wheel drive went out of this. And I got stuck in it a few times. It's pretty frustrating. This used to be the best four-wheel drive vehicle we had. Now it doesn't work anymore. So not very good spare vehicle if it doesn't have four-wheel drive. And I really don't want to have to pay to fix it and to go through putting a lot of money back into this vehicle. So with 233,000 miles, I figure we've got our good out of it, and it is time to let this vehicle go. So today I put this vehicle on Facebook Marketplace, and hopefully we can find somebody to buy it. I only put it on there for like $900. I'm just wanting to get rid of it. So hopefully somebody will come and buy this vehicle in the next few weeks, and we'll get a little bit of cash for it. But for me, I think I'm done with this vehicle, and I'm ready for something else. So now that I'm selling the Expedition, I need another tow vehicle. So I need to buy a tow vehicle to replace it. Now that being said, we knew the Expedition was getting really old and had high mileage. So we had decided last year that we needed to buy a new vehicle. So we started saving up money a year or so ago. And so we had decided that we were going to buy a truck. So we live out here in the country. You know, we got 41 acres out here. We're trying to, you know, get livestock and do a bunch of stuff out here. So it made sense for us to have a truck. And we had stayed away from trucks. You know, in the past, we had just used a utility trailer. So a utility trailer, you can purchase one for $1,000 or less, and you can pretty much go pick up all your lumber and everything with it and bring it home. And so it's a lot cheaper than us buying a truck, is just pull a trailer behind the SUV. So now we decided we wanted to buy a truck. And so we've been looking actually for a truck for the last 2 months. And we've been, you know, searching for a truck, really hoping to find one between $10,000 and $15,000, and that didn't have any rust on it, that looked like it was in really good shape, and try to find one with less than 150,000 miles on it. To find one in that price range without rust, pretty much impossible. Couldn't find any, pretty much. I think that rust is an accessory to a truck. I think it's just something that automatically comes with them. I don't think you can find them without rust. At least that's the way it seemed. So pretty much had given up trying to buy a truck. And then we ended up buying that livestock trailer. And it's like, well, crap, we need to find a truck. So went back to looking for a truck. So about 4 or 5 days after we bought that livestock trailer, we ended up finding a truck that met our criteria. It just happened to be a little bit higher than our price that we wanted to go for. So after looking the truck over and seeing how good the condition this truck is in, we decided it was worth the money to go ahead and buy it. So anyway, we ended up buying a truck. This is it. This is a Ford F-150. This is a 2009, so this is a 10-year-old truck. But it has 103,000 miles on it, so it has really low miles for a 10-year-old truck. And we don't really probably won't put very many on it. Heck, that Expedition, we probably put less than 4,000 miles on it a year. So I don't think we'll put miles on it very quickly. That's why we want it to be in good condition, because we want it to last a lot of years. But the great thing about this is there's no rust on this truck. I haven't found any rust. I know you're probably not going to believe me, but there's no rust that I can find. So usually you find rust in the fender wells, no rust. You'll find rust on the doors or under the doors in that section right through there. No rust there at all. Sometimes you find it around the grill, around the hood, no rust. Sometimes around the tailgate, no rust. Couldn't find any rust on this truck. It just looked immaculate. Looked like it had been very well taken care of. So whoever owned this truck took very good care of it. So there's actually more to buying this truck than just looking for no rust. I mean, I needed something that can tow a vehicle and do what I need it to do. So I needed to find something. I wanted to find something that had that 7-pin trailer plug on it. So that I could add a brake controller to it and be able to tow a trailer that had brakes. Finding a truck that actually had that ended up proving more difficult than I thought. I actually found some trucks that looked really good without rust. They didn't have a hitch at all on them. No hitch, no wiring, nothing. I couldn't even believe you would sell a truck without a hitch. Apparently they do. So anyway, this truck does have a factory hitch. It has the factory 7-pin plug, and it actually has basically the full tow package. I know it's only a half-ton truck, but it pretty much has a tow package. So it has the extendable mirrors. These mirrors are towing mirrors, and they will extend outward, so you can see past a wide trailer if you're pulling like a camper or something. And then it also has a brake controller, factory brake controller, built into the dash of the truck. So it has a brake controller already on it. It's all set up, ready to tow a trailer with brakes. So if you're out, in the country, doing this kind of stuff. So if you're going to haul a trailer that may be hauling like a tractor or skid steer, that trailer is going to have brakes on it. If you're going to haul a livestock trailer, it's going to have brakes on it. Pretty much anything, I think like over 1,500 or 2,500 pounds is going to have brakes on it. So you need to have a vehicle set up for it. So this vehicle is set up, I think, for what we need it for, and I think it's going to be a good vehicle for several years to come. And we're planning on hopefully this lasting for another 10 years. We'll just have to wait and see. So after showing you guys that I bought that truck back there, I think it's pretty obvious that I need to find a few more things to sell. Trucks are pretty expensive. But in all honesty, that truck is something that I need and you will use. And the livestock trailer as well. I mean, these are all things we're systematically moving in a direction to turn this place into a small farm. This is all stuff that we need here on this property to do that. So we will need a truck, we will need a livestock trailer. And if we can sell a few more things, we're gonna reinvest it in this property. We're slowly gonna get more pastures made. We're gonna get water and electricity to the barn. And we'll eventually get livestock. And we're just reinvesting everything in the direction of building this into a small farm. I mean, this is something that we're not going to quite be, running as a real business necessarily right now, but hopefully this will all be working and going like a small farm. And in 13 years or so, when we retire, this will just be what we do. But we're systematically moving that direction, slowly, getting the things that we need and building up this property you know, to turn it into a small farm for me and my wife to be able to run. So that's the plan. It's a slow process, but these are all things that we need to do that. And we're going to get rid of the things we don't need so we can reinvest it in this place. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video.